Hey guys, Arleesha here and welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at another limited palette. This one is a bit special because this is my favorite limited palette. I would say that this trio of colors is probably what really inspired me to start this series in the first place, so I'm excited to share it with you. I've talked about these three colors off and on in previous videos, but never featured them on their own. So the three colors we're going to be looking at today are from my White Night set. I've got Cadmium Red Light, Naples Yellow, and Indigo. You can kind of see at the top of the page there that I've listed the pigment numbers for all of these colors, and if you had asked me when I was first learning about watercolors what three colors I thought would be go-tos for me, it definitely wouldn't have been any of these, because as a beginner and someone who was learning, I was deterred from colors like these for good reason, but I've come to love them over time. So I was always learning and hearing that cadmium colors were more opaque and, not the best for learning on watercolors because of that. And then the other two colors are multi-pigment colors. Naples Yellow, this one has 4 pigments, one of them is white, and the Indigo has 3 pigments. So when it comes to building like a go-to primary triad, these 3 colors all would have been things I probably would have stayed away from, and really did stay away from for a while. So it was really exciting for me over time to learn about what I love myself and colors that I really love to use. I wanted to do a little color wheel this time instead of our stripy swatches because we do have a bit of a triad, and I wanted to show you the really beautiful sort of muted earthy colors that these 3 make together. Part of the reason that this particular trio of colors appeals to me so much is because they neutralize each other so beautifully. So because the cadmium red light is a warmer red, when you mix that with this more neutral indigo color, you're not getting a true purple, you're getting something more desaturated. And the same thing happens when you mix the Naples yellow and the indigo. When you do that, you're combining 7 different pigments, so the color desaturates really quickly. And it's something that can cause muddy colors quickly because you do have so many pigments together in such a short period of time, or a short number of mixes. If you mix all 3 of these colors together, then you've got, 4, 3, 8 different pigments, just from mixing 3 colors. So it's a little bit tricky, and that the colors can get muddy quickly. For whatever reason, it's a trio that I have been excited to learn about and excited to play with. One thing that I think makes this trio work so well together is because you're able to neutralize and desaturate colors so quickly. When I do allow something to be a little bit more saturated, that color stands out even more, because I've got mixes of the colors that brings that saturation level down. It becomes a bit more muted, and then the pops of saturation are just all that more effective, and it's just really fun to try to balance these colors together. Usually when I am working with my White Nights watercolors, I use all 3 of these and then widen the palette a bit with a cooler red or a different blue. Sometimes if I want a warmer, brighter orangey color, like if there's some like light shining, especially like inside of the ear where there's light shining through the skin or something like that, I'll mix that cadmium red light with one of the warm yellows in this palette, and that works really nicely. Or if I want something that's a little bit more of a truer purple, I'll mix that indigo with a cooler red, which you can see just under that first yellow in this palette, under that lemon yellow. I'm not using that for this video. For this video, I focused on just the 3 colors, and I really like this trio. I wouldn't have known how much I liked them if I hadn't tried it and experimented. And while we're on the topic of my favorite trio of colors, if you have a favorite combination of like kind of primary colors, so a red or a magenta and a yellow and a blue, if you have a favorite combo, let me know down in the comments what you like best. Maybe you prefer more of like a true primary triad with like a magenta and more of like a phthalo blue, like a almost a turquoise sort of cyan color. Let me know what you like. I want to experiment with something like a truer primary triad soon. I think it would be fun to broaden this series with that and see how You can do a lot with a more standard trio of colors, but at the same time, you know, having a little bit of variety or difference can make a huge difference. But at the same time, having that little bit of variety can widen the palette so much. I think that if I was a beginner in watercolors and I was trying to learn on this trio, it would be more frustrating for me because you can't mix a clean, bright orange or a deep, dark, rich, like royal purple or a bright, vibrant lime green. These colors just will never do that. And for the way I like to paint now and the things I like to do, that works really well, because for me, the secret to being able to include, you know, in the skin tones, being able to include purple and green and blue and orange and being able to include all of those colors in one portrait, the most important thing is to keep those colors less saturated. When you're working in more of a limited range on the color wheel as a whole, you have more freedom to vary the hues as long as you're limiting the saturation. I hope that makes sense. Like if I had all of these colors super, super saturated, they wouldn't work together as well. But because they all have little bits of each other in them, they mix together nicely. I actually started painting this piece on my birthday, which was this week on September 1st. So it makes me happy to have this little snippet to look back on and to remember that this was my birthday. I turned 29 this year, so sometimes it's crazy to me that I'm not 30 yet. I know I'm kind of getting off topic here, but, you know, just at the point I'm at in my life with having 2 kids and, you know, my husband and I will have been married for 10 years this year. And so when my birthday comes around, I'm like, how am I not 30 yet? Anyway, I'm excited about being 30. I feel like I'll be able to start that decade with like maybe an actual like proper foundation of common sense, which I definitely don't feel like I had when I turned 20. So I'm excited for the new decade, and I don't know, it just feels really, I don't know, nostalgic. Nostalgic isn't really the right word, I guess, when you're talking about the past and the future, but it feels like a nice little snippet to be talking about my favorite trio of colors, painting portraits that I love to paint, and working on it on my birthday, and I don't know. It's just nice to reminisce about stuff and see everything together and kind of think about all the things that were happening at once. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you've tried out this trio of colors, please do let me know. Let me know what your favorite trio of colors is, or any other limited palette combinations you'd like to see in the future. Thank you all so much for being here and for hanging out with me during this video and every video. As always, a huge, huge thank you to my patrons and my members here on YouTube. August was a really difficult month for me and for my family, but just knowing that I had the support of those people there that I could, you know, vent to about stuff, and also just not having to worry financially about things if I needed time to breathe and take a break. It was just so helpful. So thank you to you guys. You can check out those platforms if you're interested in supporting me or this channel further. I hope you guys are all doing well. You can find this original for sale on my shop, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you for being here with me, and I go. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.